Okay, so I hope everybody is able to see my screen. And so, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this session. Here, we'll talk about account based marketing, which is a relatively new concept in terms of how it has been uh, being implemented across B2B organizations across the globe. And we'll also quickly get into I would like to share a few tips of making sales call, be it a phone call or we are going to physically meet any prospect. So we'll talk around these two broader topics. And as John mentioned, feel free to just note down your questions and send them in the messages. And after I'm done with this presentation, then we'll take up your questions one by one. So let's start. So first, quickly, let me explain to you guys that what is account-based marketing actually. So it's an alternative B2B strategy, and then which combines basically sales and marketing. In the traditional B2B marketing scenario or a setup, whether it was a outbound or a inbound, in that scenario, sales and marketing used to be two different verticals which never combined because the KPIs and the objectives of both these departments were quite different. But this approach of account based marketing combines these two verticals beautifully, so that and it focuses on a defined set of target accounts within a market. And it involves creating personalized campaigns and for targeted tailor made to each one of these accounts. So this is all about account based marketing and in a nutshell. And now we'll move to what exactly I'll explain to you that how actually this ABM approach works. So I'll be using ABM word as an acronym for account based marketing. So let's first understand that, okay, what are the key steps of a buying process. I'm a buyer, I'm a prospect. So typically any buyer goes through three different stages in the buying process. The first one is the need, understanding that, okay, I need this. As a suppose I'm running an organization, for example, and I am the owner of that business, or maybe I may be a department head within that organization. So I foresee an issue, a problem, or it can be a need, pure need. It may not be relating to any issue or a problem. So as a department head, as a business owner, for example, just to relate to what you guys do is that suppose I am the HR head of any organization, and suddenly I feel that oh no, we need a soft skill training of the salespeople, sales department, because they have been trained on the various sales steps and processes, but soft skill training is missing. So maybe this could be one way. So I will realize that there is a need of a soft skill based training program for sales department of my organization. So then what I will be doing next? Then I will try and evaluate the various options which are available. So what can be the options? It can be online training modules, it can be some training organizations. So I will try and do a lot of evaluation. Here I would like to point out a very pertinent behavior of a buyer. So what is happening that in last couple of years, or maybe in the last decade, last 10 years, due to digitization, so everybody has got access to Google and various search engines. So what happens that once I feel that there is a need of something, then I will immediately get into research. So while I'm evaluating the options, I'm also doing a lot of research in terms of the available options. So this can be online research, this can be asking maybe my peer group or my friends that, okay, I need to conduct such a training. So okay, what do you suggest, which training company is better, or should I go online? So all these evaluation things will be done by a decision maker who is a part of that buying process. And then after the evaluation, that person will zero in onto maybe one or two available resources, and then a decision to buy will be made. So this is a typical three-step buying process in a B2B, typical B2B scenario. It can be any product. But on a broader level, if you see, these three steps they are in all across all industries in a B2B segment. So now, coming back to ABM, how ABM is different from traditional inbound and outbound models. So what was the inbound model? Inbound model was basically driven by marketing, wherein you publish your content, make your website optimized, do a lot of SEO, SEM, search in, paid keyword searches, all those things, so that you attract people. If anybody is going digital or trying to find something, then your solutions appears on the top of the search. That was the objective of the marketing team, and that prospect will click that link and will land onto your page or website, and will read about your solutions or the product. And then there may be another typical contact form where he or she, the buyer, will enter the details, okay, name, mobile number, email address, and a brief about. So that's a typical inbound process. So if you closely look at this inbound process, what you will find that in these two stages of need and evaluation, here buyer is actually determining that, okay, what he or she wants to decide. Okay, because there are plenty of options available. So buyer is evaluating everything, and when the buyer has narrowed down to two or three alternates, then the buyer will get in contact with you. And then when there is a decision to buy almost, and there are few one or two alternates, then the buyer usually contacts you, and then you get into a sales pitch, and you start negotiating. So if you look at this in inbound model, from need to evaluation, the buyer is completely in control. And then the role comes of a B2B company or a sales people like us, that okay, when a decision to buy has been made, then we get into action in terms of quoting the prices, sending quotations, handling objections a bit here and there. And then this is the typical inbound B2B sales process. Now moving to outbound. Outbound is like going out in the field and about doing cold calls, knocking every available company in the area, and just dropping your visiting card there and dropping a brochure there. All those activities are part of pure outbound sales efforts. So
Or even sending emails too as well too.
yeah,
Yeah.
sending cold emails and as well, or
Or
making
making
phone
phone
calls
calls as
also.
well too. Yeah.
Yeah, making phone calls also. So this was a typical outbound effort. So here what is happening, that okay, there is a need and awareness on the buyer part, and as a seller you have got a product, but there was no bridging the gap between need and decision to buy. So in the evaluation stage, basically the seller was absent. As a B2B salesperson, we were absent in this outbound model, the traditional outbound model. So what happens here in the case of ABM, account based marketing? So in this case, the buyer, sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So in this case, what happens, that buyer has just been aware that there is a need, there is an issue which needs to be addressed. Then in account based marketing, we accompany the buyer right from the evaluation stage, and in some cases even at the need and awareness stage. So this is a proactive model, very targeted, tailor made, and it involves a lot of steps in terms of managing this process completely from end to end. So the difference, if you I am trying to show here, is that inbound buyer, it's a buyer dominant model. Outbound is a 33 to 33% driven by buyer and driven by the seller, and in between there is a huge gap in terms of reaching out to as a seller, we reaching out to the buyer, and as a buyer, the buyer reaching out to us. But this ABM model tries to fill this gap. So we proactively reach out to the prospect and be a part at even at the start of the evaluation stage, or even to at the part of when there is a awareness, and we further nurture that need and awareness. So this is the whole concept of account based marketing. So moving on to just to further clarify that how ABM works. ABM is nothing but it's a refined form of, just going back to the previous slide. uh, ABM is basically a refined and more sophisticated and more targeted form of outbound efforts. Okay, so that's how we have to look at the ABM.